Appreciate you guys tuning in. Dan Beard, I'm the special teams coordinator at Millersville University. Really appreciative to speak with you guys today. Whether you're tuning in or checking out here on YouTube. Excited to talk about our special teams units. And what we have at Millersville University. Very fortunate, work for a great head coach, J.C. Morgan. Coach Morgan is very hands-on involved in special teams, which as a coordinator is very beneficial. Able to get a good amount of practice periods, and our full staff helps out with each different unit. So definitely excited to talk with you today. A little bit about myself. I'm in my third year at Millersville University. I've been coaching in college since 2011, and had a couple stops at Allegheny College, McDaniel College, Shippensburg University, Seton Hill, Alvernia University, and been at Millersville here for the past 2.5 years. So starting off with special teams, the biggest thing with special teams as a coach, you have to think like an offensive and defensive coach at the same time. And what I mean by that is that, if you're kicking off, the start of the play before the ball changes possession is you dictate where the ball goes. So if you want to take a surprise on side, if you want a sky kick, if you want a pooch kick, if you want to do anything along those lines, you have the ball. Once the ball is kicked off, now it changes possession. Now you have to think like a defensive coach and make sure that your fits are solid. Make sure that you're keeping the ball inside in front of you, and eliminating gains. And very similar across the board with almost every special team, whether it's punt return, kick return, PAT field goal block. You have to think like an offensive and defensive coach at the same time. I think it's one of the things that for anybody that's involved in special teams, whether you coach a specific unit, whether you're involved in all the phases, whether you're a coordinator, or even a head coach, I think the fact that it forces you to have to think on both sides of the football, and it makes you a better coach overall. The other best thing about being a special teams coach is that you get a chance to work with everybody on the team. Offense, defense, you get, quarterbacks holding, for PAT field goals, you get the O-line, on your field goal protection, you get D linemen, on your block teams or your punt teams, you get all the skill guys. And the nice thing is you get a chance to really know everybody on the team. And I think special teams in the game of football is the one place where the full team really actually comes together. It's not like you just have offense. It's not like you have defense. You have an entire team that really gels and meshes together. And I think it's the most important part of the game because it brings both those units together for one cohesive goal. Start with this, and hopefully, I hope you get a lot of things out of this. But if you could take one thing away from this, from an organizational standpoint, is one thing that we went to this year is using these big practice boards. And what I mean by that is basically you can get them at a dollar store, and I've got one right here. It's a just your basic good old fashioned cardboard poster board, and then again put your special teams things that you want on it. Whether it's your coverage fits, whether it's your alignments, all those things. And the reason I say this is that so many times for us as coaches, we either got the little binder, the little piece of paper, and we're holding it up, and our guys can't see where they're at, or they have to ask a second time. With this, you create a huge visual. The guys can see it. The early in the week, you build your boards, and guys can see their fits, see everything that you want. And again, you got a picture here. We're in our kickoff huddle here. We're talking about everything, our fits, what we need to do, and everybody can see it. Everybody's got a visual. The group behind us can, and be able to use those in practice all week. Like I said, this is Coach Morgan, our head football coach. He's heavily involved in special teams, and I think as a position coach and as a coordinator, it's a huge benefit. All our team meetings, we're talking about special teams, the impact that it makes, and I think for guys that are out there watching this, if you are a head coach or if you're just a coordinator, the fact that getting your head coach to really give special teams the emphasis that it needs is very beneficial. So I'm very fortunate to have that. The next thing, just kind of for buy-in for special teams, I think is divvying up coaching responsibilities. I am the coordinator, but different coaches oversee different positions and even different phases. Jeff Tomasetti is our offensive coordinator. Jeff, runs our punt team. So he runs, with the protection, the ball placement, all those things, we coordinate together. But the nice thing, as a special teams coordinator is your offensive coordinator runs your punt team. So, guarantee when the punt team does have to go out, he's not going to be happy about it. So we're going to make sure that things are solid and we punt it away. So, I think this gives everybody a buy-in. everybody's responsibility. And then during game day, when a special team is out there and something happens, the guys have a specific position that they're able to watch and know what's going on. So if there is a breakdown, if there's something we need to know about, that specific coach can, be on the headset or on the field, communicate, hey, I saw X, Y, or Z. This is what happened. And you can see this is our breakdown. I think this is valuable for, any staff to do. You can see we have our different, responsibilities. Coach Morgan this past year oversaw our kick return team. So again, that's something he's done throughout his entire career. And I think it's really beneficial, when their head coach is heavily involved in special teams and even running a specific team. You can see that Coach Suchak, our defensive coordinator, I know he spoke a couple weeks ago on split safety coverage, but you can see there he works, with those specific unit guys on the PAT block, kickoff, and then punt return. And then, I oversee punt return, kickoff, PAT field goal, and block. Coach Dudick, our running backs coach, will oversee our kick return team coming up this year. So, again, the nice thing is the job of special teams is spread around to everybody else. The nice thing about this, too, is when you're in practice, guys have a specific thing that they need to look at and they need to coach. So it's not like it's one guy, running the show and running around crazy. You're able to make sure that everybody has something specific they really need to look at. This, I think, is highly important, and I think any team, special teams coach should have a list of this of a special teams situation checklist. This is something that we've sat down as a staff. I've sat down with our head coach and really looked at what are the different situations we could potentially face in a ball game. And we've got them down to 31. They're all listed there, but everything from, punting from the different hash marks to punting with a wet ball to punting out of your end zone, what's your protection going to be? Taking a safety at the end of the game, pooch punting, bad situations, handling snaps, covering your fair kicks, onside kick recovery, your hands team, surprise onsides, squib kicks, sky pooch, lob kicks, how you react to it, bad snap, PAT field goal attempts, making sure you're safe on your field goal blocks, you're matching eligibles, defending field goal fakes, field goal returns at the end of half off a missed field goal, muddle huddle adjustments, your offensive lines in with punt return, look, and then they shift out to kind of what Auburn, Alabama had last year, making sure that you're sound with your calls and your adjustments, taking an additional intentional safety, offensive lines with the quarterback back, and then he quick, Nike punts it or quick punts it, kickoff after safety, and, kick return after safety penalty. So again, kind of narrowed down those 31 situations. And I think the biggest thing is have this checklist, and it's a building block. It's something that as you go through training camp, you go through spring ball, you go through, summer stuff for guys in high school, that you can teach these different situations. And then throughout the week, just make sure that you're trying to hit these areas, whether it's in a meeting, whether it's on the field, just making sure that these situations, because it's the one time that it comes up in a game, that it could be the difference maker between a win and a loss. And that's the thing is, by having a plan, being able to react to it, being able to put in to place what your plan is going to have you have a great and spectacular special teams units. The issue that becomes when you go out and you don't have a plan is now you're caught, and now guys are reacting and panicking, and now, that's when turnovers and big plays can happen and can cost you. So I think this is a great building point for guys to talk about, and then how are you going to handle each of these situations. The next couple clips, are going to kind of talk about some of those. So this is from 2018. We were playing at Westchester University. This is the end of the half. They're attempting a long field goal. So again, we're going to rush, but we've got a guy back there, working to return it. You can see here where he's going to start to the opposite sideline and then work back. And then we're trying to set up a wall, and we get a solid return here. Would love to take it back to the house, but we get it back to midfield with time on the clock, for our offense to get back on the field and execute. And again, this is something that, we practiced all through training camp, all through, every week. We had a segment of practice where we backed it up and we attempted this. And again, making sure that, our guys got in their lanes, making sure that we built the wall, set the return up and bring it back. Got a nice hit there by our Mike linebacker. And again, just trying to return to our sidelines. The other thing is thinking like a defensive coach is, if you have your field goal protection team, if you kick and miss a field goal, how are you going to cover that kick? How are you going to fit it? How are you going to get there? And again, this is something, the situation we work on both sides of the ball to making sure that, we get positive results. And you can see here, before the ball is kicked, all right, we're securing the eligibles. We're rushing off the edge there. try to get a nice interior rush. We get our hands up. Okay. It's short. All right. We got our returner back there. Okay. He's going to start one side and then work to bring him back to the wall, and you can set the wall either way. And then again, just trying to get a hat on a hat and get a nice sideline return. And again, put our offense in good field position at midfield with some time left on the clock before halftime to get some points on the board. This clip here, so this is when I was a graduate assistant at Shippensburg. I was a defensive graduate assistant, and I ran the kickoff team. This is before halftime. We were playing Clarion University. It's a squib kick. So, again, we're getting the ball on the ground. There's maybe 10 seconds left, before halftime here. And, again, just trying to keep the ball on the ground, not give up a big return. So the balls bounce around, just making sure we keep our fit. We two-gap button press. We've got it gapped out, okay? And we'll get into specific kickoff fits here later. But you can see we strip and rip. We end up scoring a touchdown, before halftime. So, the nice thing about it is preparing yourself for those situations, preparing yourself for the things that you can face. So when it does hit at a crucial part of the game, you're able to take advantage of it. Again, this helped us put us up to 2 scores before halftime and a huge momentum breaker. Okay, see from the tight angle, we missed the last part of him running the end zone. Our camera guy got real excited. But you can see here, right there on the clock. I'll pause it here. I'll bring it back a little bit. As you can see, this is right before halftime, okay? So right now, we got 3 seconds left, okay? It's a 24-10 ball game, okay? And this score here puts us up another score to put us in great position right before halftime. So, again, prepare yourself for those situations. So, got to kick on the ground, identify the gap we wanted to put it in, okay? We get our fit, all right, rip, strip, all right? They didn't call him down, and like I said, our camera guy missed the end of it. But you can see there a huge momentum play for us. Okay. This here is from my first year of coaching at Allegheny College. We sky kicked it versus Carnegie Mellon. DC at the time was Mike Kasherba. Coach Kasherba ran the kickoff unit, and I assisted him with that. But again, you'll see here, we sky kick it. Okay, you watch the guy here. I know the film's a little fuzzy because it's a little old. But right here, he comes in late. High points the ball, and we get the ball back for offense on a 40. Huge momentum-changing play after a score. This is from this year. So, we played Pace University. They did a nice job with their punt looks. They gave you a lot of different punt looks, different motions, formations. What was very tough to game plan for them. They showed a good amount of fakes, on the film throughout the season. And, they came out. First punt opportunity they had, it was 4th and 3 here around, midfield 40. They shifted out of it. We made our adjustments to match our eligibles. Okay. They'll motion the number receiver here down at the bottom in. We matched the coverage, and you can see they kind of got some kind of a RPO pass option with a pitch. The nice thing is we built in with our players, with our 2 guys off the edge, they were going to be quarterback to pitch. So, our end man here, they were going to be our quarterback to pitch players. And then, our ultimate pitch player was our guy in the middle. So we built those rules in camp. And when we first installed it, and then had ability to take away that play. So again, we gave the ball to our offense here, inside, on the 40, great field position to set up a score. So again, those huge momentum changing plays that, if you practice a situation, you have an answer for it, you can do a great job. Here it is in the tight end. You see they shift, so we match and identify eligibles. Okay. You can see here our pitch guy, he's just keying to make sure nothing gets crazy. We got our quarterback to pitch player out here. Okay. So they run it, they work a pitch. The camera guy misses it. But again, you can see the adjustments, the things that we make, throughout. Okay. This is a great effort play. You talk about, and something that we coach our guys up on, if a ball is muffed, we want to make sure that we recover. You can't advance the muff punt. But you can see here, we got great effort here. And you look at our special teams unit, we got a good amount of young guys here. Our guard here was Isaiah Onishak. He was a freshman for us, was a all PSAC player. Our end here was Alex Pellegrin. He's a freshman for us. And again, young guys doing a great job. Getting on the team. We got a lot of really good young players and a bright future. This is against IUP, so a nationally ranked team. All right, we got our protection. Ball's kicked. Okay, great effort here by Christian Martyr. He's our gunner to the ball. Okay, makes a great hit. Okay, ball pops up. Pops up in the hand of our end, who's our contained guy. He runs into the end zone. Now, again, you can't advance a muff punt. We know the rule. But I think the thing is, you just never know how that ball is going to bounce. So again, by having a plan, great effort, emphasizing that with your guys is something that can really be beneficial. And here it is. Kind of from the tight angle here. Let this run a little bit. As you see, the ball's punted. All right, so we got our protection. Okay, great job here by number 6, Christian Martier. Ball's in the bounce. He fields it. We make a tackle. First guy hit. All right, second guy gets the ball. It pops up in his hands. Now, obviously, we can't advance a muff, but just a great momentum-changing play. We get the ball back for our team right here on the 5, and able to take it in for an end for a score later in the drive. But again, those momentum-changing plays, able to set yourself up, put your team in a great position. This is here against East Stroudsburg. Okay, so, Isaiah Onishak, again, a freshman for us who I talked about earlier. He steps inside, secures his inside gap, goes down to cover it. Again, makes a great hit, and then the guy recovers it. And one thing I would say is, when you're looking to recover a fumble, in a special team situation, if you're in the open field, we want to look to scoop and score as much as possible, okay? Now, again, there's bodies around. We will make sure we recover that ball, get it back to offense. Again, we're giving the ball back to our offense here inside the 40-yard line. Great field position to help them score. And I'm kind of going through these clips, and anybody that would ever want to talk scheme stuff, can feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my contact information at the end of this talk. But I think the thing I'm showing you here is just, the effort in those situations that you never know when they come up. And again, if you coach them with your guys, just how much of a game changer it can be. This is this year. All right. This is against Kutztown University. Again, we've got, 6 to 7 guys on this punt return team that were freshmen, sophomores, so a young group. But again, this is Tyler Bishop. Just watch our 2 guys securing off the edge, okay? All right, there's a bobble snap here. All right, but the thing I would say is, our guy's not slowing down with a bobble snap. Still executing your job. Know that you're the contained guy. You want to pull up the punter, make sure that the ball is punted, okay? Ball snapped. You can see we make our rush, so we're secure and make sure that ball's punted again, okay? Our 2 guys come off the edge. Their main job is to secure and make sure that ball's punted, all right? Great effort, all right? Goes down and gets the ball, scoops it up. All right, want to make sure he secures it first before he puts it out. All right, but a great, game plan changing play for us to put the ball on the 35 for our offense, okay? And again, Kutztown playoff team, nationally ranked. For us, great job of making a play on special teams, all right, with a young group in a competitive ball game. So you can see here, we're bringing our 2 guys off the edge to secure, make sure that ball's punted, rushing through the middle. Okay, and then again, matching our guys, all right, to help set up a return. But again, great effort, all right, of securing the ball by Tyler there to get the ball back for our offense. Okay, here it is from another tight angle. And again, by talking through these situations, by talking through, hey, if it's a bobble snap by the opponent, of not stopping your job, can create huge plays for you. Okay. This is one here from 2018 against East Stroudsburg. Okay. Again, bobble snap, the punter picks it up. But again, our rush guys are there. Okay. Again, we're able to make a play. All right. And secure it. Take advantage of an opportunity that's presented to us and get the ball back for offense. This was a tight ball game. All right, that we ended up winning up by a field goal. A real back and forth ball game throughout the entire night. And again, special teams being a big key in that game. Here it is from the tight angle. So again, we're securing with our 2 guys off the edge. All right, checking for fake. All right, and again, our rush guys continue to come, and we end up taking advantage of a nice play there. Okay, this is against Malone. So our offensive line coach, Coach Kelleher, actually was coaching for Malone at the time. So it's kind of interesting when you get a guy on staff that has coached for the opposing team. This is a tight ball game. It's 34-31 right now. All right, 4th quarter. All right, so 4th down. All right, again, we're checking for fake, securing fake. We're yelling it from the sidelines. They direct snap it to their PP. The punter pretends it snapped it over his head. And again, we gap fit it. We're gap sound. You got to think like a defensive coach first on returns before the ball's kicked. All right, we get a nice stop there. And we get the ball back to our offense at the -45. So big play make for us to get the ball back for our offense. You can see this here from the tight angle. And the reason, again, I'm showing these is that just in my 10 years as a coach, these are the special teams situations that I've faced, in person. And I think it's good, if you have certain situations you've seen from opponents, you've seen from yourself, or if you see from other teams or, higher levels, if you can include that in your teach, your teach progression or your installs, I think it serves yourself really well. And then, the last one I've really got here is, this is when I was at Allegheny College again against Carnegie Mellon. So the thing I want you to notice is the gunner up top. All right, his effort. I know the film's a little fuzzy here. All right, but the gunner's effort up top. Great punt by our punter here. Gets nice hang time. Directional kick. All right, and again, talk about situation. Hey, ball's punted over your head. All right, so you can see the returner kind of sees, hey, I guess it's going to bounce the end zone. Lets off of it. But what happens is our gunner is flying down, giving great effort. And we actually down the ball inside the 1 yard line here. Okay, so great field position change. And when you look at this again, you can see before the ball is even snapped, okay, we're here at, our minus 25, 26, 27. All right, we just flipped the field and pinned the opposing team at the 1 yard line. So again, a great job. And again, I think these are good teach clips that, even if you guys want to use them for your teams or just talking about special team situations, can be great. Great teaching tools. Okay. One thing we do with all our special teams units and really every position that we have at Millersville, and this comes from Coach Morgan, is we have 3 points of emphasis with all our special teams. Okay, every unit of if we asked our players walking down the hall, what's our punt return emphasis, they'd be able to rattle off great effort, correct block rush fundamentals, correct hold up and trail techniques like boom, boom, boom. Okay, and again, this is something that we emphasize when we're on the field, when we're in every meeting, and it's not just the first meeting we put it up. Talk about it and then let it go. Okay, it's one of those things where we emphasize it constantly. And again, you can't be just your day one. You put it up and that's it. You never refer back to it. Anytime you see these things, you got to point it out. So the great effort, the great effort that you see. You saw the Kutztown clip of us recovering on a fumble recovery. That's great effort. Okay, that's one of our points of emphasis. That's awesome stuff. Correct block rush fundamentals. You saw that again there. Correct hold up and trail techniques, making sure that we're on our guys. So those are things that we want to make sure that we talk about. And again, every unit that we have has those 3 points of emphasis. And there's a couple here I want to go over with you guys. The other thing is just, not only your points of emphasis, but what are your goals? When you're on the punt return team, the biggest goal for you is get the ball back for your offense. So to do that is first thing, don't have any stupid penalties, which give up or a down or lose field position. Don't be off sides. Make sure you're not in the neutral zone. Don't rough the kicker. Don't run into the kicker. Don't block in the back. Make sure that you're not, throwing a block. If you're unsure, don't throw it. If you can't throw a good block with the guy, but you can at least get in his way. We call it the O'Hay block. Just get in his way, put your hands up, and make sure that you're not going to get a penalty. But again, shield that cover guy from the return. The second thing is secure the fake. No fakes given up. There's been 17 fakes in the PSAC, within the last last 2 seasons. So we got to be alert. Want to make sure we secure the catch of the kick by our returners. No muffs or drops. And then everything after that is gravy. So if we do those first 3 things, we should be good and then change field position. We try to get around 10 yards average of return, get a first down, put our offense in good field position. So again, those are our goals. And again, talking about the little things, the details that's going to help us do those things. And part of that is going over the rules of play. And I think you need to do this for all the major rules, of those situations, the checklist we talked about. A block punt crosses the line of scrimmage. We want to treat it as if it's not been touched. One of the teach clips that we use is, and we use it with our players, is from the past year, Notre Dame and Michigan. There was a punt, and the punt return team touched the ball when the ball had passed the line of scrimmage. And then what happened was the punting team recovered it and took field position in and got another set of downs to drive the ball. It ended up becoming a score. So you got to make sure that you have clear calls for that. Poison calls, alert, hey, we want everybody away from it, get to the sideline. Punt block team, it's a live ball, it can be recovered. So just really have to have a sense of urgency. And that return, it can't be, we got to be poison, making sure that, we're giving this signal, hey, get away and make sure we get to the sidelines. If the ball is blocked, and it does not cross line of scrimmage, it's a live ball and can be advanced by either team. And I think that's something you really got to emphasize that, hey, either team can advance it. So just because we blocked it, that's great. but we can't just stop and celebrate. We've got to, make sure we recover, and take the ball, tackle when the opponent tries to advance the block kick if they take possession of the ball, and then also make sure that if we have the opportunity to scoop and score, if we don't in the open field, make sure that we recover the ball and get it back for our offense to be in good field position. The other thing is, advance the ball for a score. Make sure there's communication. That's got to be the most important thing. The first guy of the ball should declare me, and he should pick it up the ball and advance it. And we got to get every other player, turning and finding work. Finding somebody to block. Again, we don't want to throw, a clip, a block below the waist, or a block that's unnecessary. Want to really build that wall, build that shield, and help escort that guy to the end zone. Okay. You can see it here. So talk about block punt. So the ball's blocked beyond the line of scrimmage. This is Allegheny versus Kenyon when I was there in 2011. So do a nice job blocking a punt. Again, it's past the line of scrimmage, so it's a live ball. Okay. We kind of, fumble around. Got to have a little bit better communication. All right. We end up scooping it. All right. About to get tackled. All right. He laterals it here. All right. We were okay. They gave it to us, and we end up scoring for a touchdown. So, again, I think by talking through those points, talking through the situation that can happen is even once the ball is blocked, all right, we're able to make sure that at this point, hey, we're communicating me. All right, our other guys are able to turn and look and make the most out of a situation, out of a nice play. Our kickoff emphasis, and really we'll dive into a lot of kickoff stuff here, the back end of this talk, but kickoff emphasis is great effort. Want to be sound in our coverage phases, have perfect leverage to the football. We break down our coverage phases, into takeoff, speed and read, contact and finish, perfect leverage to the ball, making sure that we know where our fit is, make sure we're leveraged properly. Again, the phrase we use our guys, the return is like water. Don't allow any leaks. We want to get that return to bounce and cut east to west as much as possible and fill gaps out. What our goals are, they're listed there, but, keep guys inside the 25 as much as possible, set the tone, whether it's coming out of halftime, whether it's, the first kick of the game, whether it's after a score, have great desire and effort, understand the scheme and fit, be great in our zones, and just have opponents really be intimidated by our kickoff team. Our field goal emphasis, perfect operation time. We're looking for 1.3 or less. Proper steps, low pad level, and then again, so this is from our exact scouting report is, again, you put the emphasis, it's on the scouting report, mention it daily, mention it during drills, mention it during practice, and again, give blocks that we're expecting to see from the different teams. So now kind of diving into, forming a scouting report. So we talked a lot about situations, situations, being prepared for them, and a lot of that's going to be in scouting and how you set up your scouting, how you get the information out of a lot of it and really simplify it and break it down for your kids, for your players to really understand and maximize the opportunities that you have. So for our scouting report, first thing we're going to do is get an idea of, who's the special teams coordinator. Now, some teams, there is a guy that's designated. Other times it's by committee. So I think, doing your research and figuring out what units guys run and having some familiarity with them, where they've been, what their background is. Are there any kind of schemes they're going to carry along with them from previous places they've been? So kind of doing kind of a background check on where they've been, getting an idea of who their guys are, from a punter standpoint, kickoff, PAT field goal, snapper, holder, their returners, is it the same guy? This is against East Stroudsburg. Jordan Waters was their kicker, really did all of them for him, did a nice job for the most part. With he did all three phases. There were a couple other guys that were mixed in, and then the returners as well. As their punt returners, same guys their kick returner. Is it a guy you want to kick to? Is it not a guy you want to kick to? And then the stats. Get an idea of their ranges. Where they're going to be able to be. You can see the kicker here. We went back a couple years to find his long. Had a great leg. Had a long of 50. In 2017, a long of 45. In 2018, and a long of 49. The 2019 year we played him. So. Again, making sure that we have data on those guys so we have information, knowing where to set things up. The other thing is kick placement. Chart those kicks. For kickoff, our kick return team, chart their kickoffs. Where's the ball been placed? This is when we play pace. You can see here, the ball was kind of all over the place. They had a couple on sides. Okay, they had a sky kick. They had a couple out of bounds. And again, I draw it from both in PowerPoint. Draw it from both sides of it. I do, all the own scouting reports for this. And the nice thing for me visually is I see it, and come game day, I've already seen it in my head so many times because I've had a chance to draw it and go through it. We have one of our student assistants, Ryan Barrett, does a great job too of charting these. through the games and even through scouting and getting a lot of that information in huddle. So you want to give him a shout out. He does a nice job with that. But again, it's really, really good if you can give your guys a visual of, hey, where the ball is going to go. Going along with kickoff scouting is, again, identify who their guys are, how you're counting it, identify it by jersey number. A lot of times by jersey number, you can get an idea of who their ball guys are, who their missiles to the ball, who their safety is, who their squeeze contain player is. You get a good idea by identifying that by numbering it out. The other thing, too, a lot of times you can tell if maybe there's some kind of surprise kick or a pooch kick or something coming because maybe they substitute a guy out, put a receiver in a number that you're not used to. So I think it makes you have to do a really good job of knowing the personnel, know the opposing team's personnel. Do they do any kind of twist games? What are their alignments? And one thing I think is huge is, screenshots. Screenshots of the game so guys can see it. So they know on huddle where it's at. They can visually see it. We have guys that learn all kind of different ways. There's a ton of different learning styles, and visual is one of the biggest ones. So I think the more you can paint a picture for the guys and give them the specifics, give them the details, that when it comes game day, they can see it. Because a lot of times a guy may have a diagram drawn with where he's supposed to block, and, it just looked confusing. But then he watches the film or sees the screenshot, he's got a way better idea. So I would, highly encourage anybody, and these are all just made in simple PowerPoint, screenshot, the shot that you want, the clip that you want, from PowerPoint, put on your scout report. And then you can even have a lot of these different things on the sideline with you during games. That's another thing is I think it's important to have a special teams binder that has all kinds of information, all the things that you plan to do with visual diagrams. So if you have an injury or something happens, guys can simply, look at that and know where to go. Kickoff return scouting. So again, hey, what are their alignments? Give them the visual picture. All right, and then show, how they're blocking. The other thing too, you can do, draw the blocking scheme from the screenshot visual. A lot of PowerPoint stuff. Really, really good. I think the nice thing too, if you have other coaches on your staff and are able to, have them, really, if they're good with technology, to be able to draw these different diagrams, it'll help them learn the game too. That's how I broke it into it, was really, drawing different things and really learning it. And it helped me, and it's helped me this day. And I'm still one of those guys, I still like drawing on my own diagrams. I think it helps you see it visually and put it together. I'm a visual learner, so I try as much as possible, for our players to give them visuals. And I know the rest of our coaches do as well. These are just different things. So you can see here, identifying, hey, where we need a two-gap button press, where the wedge is going to form, where we want our guys. Again, give them the visual. It's one thing to draw it up on a diagram. It's another thing to give them the actual footage so they can see it from their perspective. Again, just going through another page here. This would be punt return, for us. You identifying, hey, they were a shield punt team. Who's the guy they're going to face? Give them the number, give them their name, and then, hey, even a picture of them. Guys really buy into this and get a nice idea. And they go up, look up the bios of the guys they're going to face, have a real good time with it. And again, know the guy you're going to face, know what his strengths are, know what his weaknesses are. And again, identify who their guys are, who are the guys that they're really trying to, be that are the difference makers for them, who are the guys that are hot to the ball, who are their contained guys. But again, give them that information, and guys will really buy into it. Just off of punt, where the ball's placed, from both perspectives of, hey, if the returner's here, if the returner's there. And I try to draw that from in huddle of, how you're actually watching the huddle clip. So, if the returner's up top here, I'll draw it like that. If the returner's at the bottom here, I'll draw it like that. And the reason I give them both is that way when the kid's watching film, he's not trying to, cross-correlate where that punt is being kicked. But again, I think this is a great idea. I know a lot of other coaches use something similar to this. But the best thing about it is it's going to give you an idea with your returner where to put them and where the ball is going to be placed. Next is structuring just with game day organization. This is my game day call sheet. I'll have the next couple slides kind of break it into these 4 parts so you can see a little bit better. Depth chart, I think it is important. Every coach should have a copy. One thing that has been very beneficial and helped me is putting the jersey number of the player. Because I know so many times, you may know the last name, but a lot of times things are quicker. If you have your guys in the box and there's an injury that happens, being able to have the jersey number and his last name helps you locate him faster on the sideline. The one thing, too, we do a really good job with is our injury communication. If there is an injury that occurs, Our athletic training staff does a great job. They report that to our head coach, Coach Morgan, and then he'll go on the headsets to both, offense and defense and say so-and-so's out. And the way we set it up is, the side of the ball that's up at that time, they're going to coach through it. And the side of the ball that's not, they're going to handle and make sure that the substitutions are taken care of so that the backup knows where he needs to be with when that special teams happen. The nice thing is that if that substitute goes in, he won't come out until, a coach declares and brings both guys together and say, hey, we're back to our normal one, or we'll keep it with the backup in the rest of the game. And the nice thing about that is it's clear, concise communication, because how many times have you had guys that, was the backup, and now you end up with 10 on the field. Now you don't have 11, or, hey, you've got 12 because two guys go out, in critical situations. So it's very, very important that we go through that. We go through that as a coaching staff. We work that. We have a mock game script. We work that through and communicate that. And we've done a great job the past 2 years. It's been a great system. I think everybody involved with it has done an excellent job of really being tuned into, the substitutions that we need to make throughout the games. So looking at call sheets, I took some of the calls out here, but I think it's nice structurally to set it up of, hey, what's your number one call? What's your fastball? What's the thing that you're going to go to the most? What are your changeups? What's something that, hey, if you need to be safe or slow down, and then again, the different situations you face. So, hey, if we're in the end zone backed up, what's our call? What's our protection? Hey, if we have any fakes in, what's the fake call? When do we want to call it? All those kind of things. Punt return wise, same thing. What's our fastball? What's our number one call going to be that week? What are the blocks that we have? What's our safe call? What are the different returns? And then again, just reminders. And a lot of this stuff is for me, but of things to look at, you can see there just, with our protection with the shield, and then reminders too of, hey, if they go gunners over, we got to, make sure we adjust with our guys, go out and match eligibles, different things along those lines. Remind us of, hey, they faked it against Clarion, so we're reminding fake all the time, regardless if they've shown one or not. What's our safe check? And then where do we want to put our returners? Where do we want to line them? One thing I think is good is if you chart, goes back to your chart that you have, and also, put that information in huddle. So when your kids watch huddle, they can see, hey, the ball was kicked from this line, it landed here. And a lot of times is with the alignment is put it where that ball lands, not necessarily where it bounced and finished. Well, where did the ball hit the ground? And then just daily, those reminders here, what their average is, where we want to block point, all different things from that standpoint. Moving on here, kickoff, kick returns, again, what our calls are, kind of same thing we talked about, just different reminders. Hey, on kickoff, check their alignments. Are there any deceptives? Do they have a guy back there, reverse? Or they try to set something up? Making sure that we have good alignment. We're good in all our phases. Who they're going to block, where their double teams are coming from. Want to watch the fullback and the backside end coming across for kick out. So all the things that we've scouted, on our scouting reports, have those on a reminder sheet. Again, this is very helpful. A lot of times you don't need to refer to it a ton because it's already ingrained in your head, but it's nice to just have it all organized into one sheet. For kick return, again, what our calls are, want to make sure we watch on sides. Hey, they had a bunch set when they played Edinboro, so we want to make sure we handle that well. We want to make sure a number one job, secure the kick, and just make sure different alignments. Hey, they had a 6-4 alignment. They like to deep kick right. The return team's left. They will surprise onside. They will have sky and blue kick. So again, all those different things, alerts that we had, just making sure we're talking about it. And again, PAT field goal block, what our blocks are. Hey, reminder, they faked it against this team. Make sure we secure tight end wings, what their target line is, what the career long is for the guy, so you have a good idea. So when you get, in a crucial situation, a game, defensively, hey, we can't let the guy get to this target line. This is the line that we want to make sure he doesn't get to, in a tight ball game where it can come down to a field goal. Again, just list the numbers of their personnel, just in case there's any changes. Great effort, and again, I leave this blank. I can fill with Sharpie and adjustments, things I see, and I always leave this here. Trust your plan. I think that's the number one thing, guys. As coaches, we put so much time into scouting, into watching film, and putting our plans. Trust your plan. You planned it for a reason. You went through all the ways that it can get attacked. Trust it. Don't try to make a huge adjustment to something if it's sound and you've worked through the kinks and you trust your plan. Make sure you do that. And I leave that reminder there for myself. All the time, just to make sure, through the game, trusting what is scouted, trusting what we scouted, and make sure that it turns out in great structure. So now moving into kickoff. So, had a chance to talk a lot of, game planning, scouting situations. Now I really want to dive into, my favorite phase of special teams, which is kickoff. Kickoff's the one phase I love the most. Was fortunate enough, in college, I was on the kickoff team, had an opportunity to fly down there. And I think the biggest thing is, the effort with this phase. It's one of the most crucial situations, and just the field position and how you can flip field position, and then just starting a game and coming out of halftime, the momentum you can change. So definitely something I'm excited to dive into here. We break kickoff into 4 phases. Okay, there's our takeoff phase, our speed and read zone, our avoid zone, and then our contact and finish zone. And I have a field diagram here, so it kind of gives you, general idea of where those zones are at. Now, they're not definitive yard lines, but we try to give our guys a general zone. It may vary depending with, a team with how they return, how deep you're kicking the ball. But again, the things we're looking for, in those zones, and we'll dive into them here one by one. So the takeoff zone, you're looking at 30 to 35. You want to take the line. The number one thing is be on sides. Okay, and I've had it happen to me is, you're offside, you have a great kick, you pin them deep, and now you got to kick it again, and you kick it again, you give up a big return. So, again, those little things, those details, make sure that, you take the line. Players, may not be beyond the 30-yard line, so you have to make sure you're following that rule. I know they put that in a couple years ago, but make sure we take the line, full speed, time it up with the kicker and his kick. Next, you get into your speed and read zone. All right, so in that zone, you want to sprint, reckless abandon, be as fast as possible downfield. Start to recognize the return in a direction, and making sure that we're reading how they're setting it up. And I think when you look and you study enough and you scout teams in their kick returns, the fullbacks and ends are going to tell you everything. Those back fullbacks and ends are going to tell you everything. The side they go for their kickouts, how they try to form their double team, is going to tell you a huge amount. And I think the other thing too for your players to understand is kickoff is a defensive play. It's the first defensive play. So we got to make sure we're sound with our fits, which we're going to dive into here in a second. And the other thing, too, is understanding that kick return team, they're using offensive principles. So, their return may look like a counter or a zone or a power. It's just at different levels. So I think if you can teach that to your kids and get to understand that, hey, it's just an offensive play. It just looks a little bit different. They're still trying to get numbers at the point of attack. They're still trying to, double team, kick out, all those things. You get a better idea. I know they did change the double team rule, within the past few years, where it can't be shoulder to shoulder, but the first guy can engage and then the second guy can scoop through, so again, just coaching your guys on that. But again, I think if you teach it to those guys, hey, we're fitting it like a defensive play. We have our zones. We read our keys. We're doing what we're supposed to do. You're going to be sound. You're going to be fit. Next, we get to the avoid zone. So you're looking at that opposite 45 to the 20 and 5, and this is where you usually encounter the first level of blockers. We're going to avoid kick side. I know some guys are avoid butt side. We avoid kick side, and the reason for that is everybody's shedding the same side. We're going to eliminate extra gaps. I used to be a butt side guy, but for shedding blocks, and then what happened is a lot of times if you get one guy fans out one way, one guy fans out the other, those guys shed the blocks, but then you leave a big seam. So I'm a big kick side believer of shedding kick side. That way, we're all on the same page. We all can avoid, stack tight, and then work to the contact and finish zone. When we get to the contact and finish zone, we're looking, that 25 yard on the goal line, and most of the time, this is where you get within that 10 yards from the ball carrier. So you're going to engage a block. We want a 2-gap button press, thumbs up, elbows together, get extension, run our feet back, be aggressive, and force that return to make a cut in a 2-way go. So we want to fit that up again. Returners like water, eliminate any seams that we can. 2-gap and button press. Now I'm going to kind of dive into some of the drills of how we teach those fits. But before we get to that, here are the overall fits of what we're trying to get. Okay, we number 1 to 10. All right, and again, guys, have different jobs, different responsibilities. We can game plan this and line guys anywhere. But basically, if you scout us at the end of the day, you're going to see with our fits, we're going to have, our 3 ball guys, nosed up, outside shoulder. We're going to have our guys here, fill, spill. Our force players and with their landmarks, a guy on the hash, guy on the upright, guy on the hash, guy on the numbers. We're going to have 2 squeeze contain players and then 2 safeties. We can also fit it like a cover 3 shell and drop one of these guys out and again have 3 safeties. So you can do a lot of different things. I think the nice thing is if you teach it like it's a defensive play, you can use your terminology, use the names that you already have for stuff, and it's less teaching because guys can already see it in the picture. So, that's the fit we're going to get, whether we're kicking to the right, kicking to the left, all those different things. That's the fit that you're going to see here, and we're going to get to some game clips here, after we get through the drill work. But the thing that you're going to see is we're going to get to this kind of fit, and it's sound. Everybody knows responsibility. You can game plan it. So, hey, after a couple of weeks, if you've aligned the same way, you can change up your alignments. You can do different things. You can pre-snap, shift and do some things just to make sure that you're not giving the same look and guys can't pick up on who your guys are. So I think it's very beneficial, and I think it's simple to teach kickoff that way. So now we're getting to drills, okay? And again, a lot of these drills, a lot of people do. Again, it's nothing really original that I've come with. It's stuff I've seen people do, stolen or borrowed over the years. And again, I think they're very beneficial and have some clips of practice film of us executing these drills. And I think it's good to really hit these, in training camp and spring ball, and even throughout your daily weeks if you can, if possible. So, first one's just a basic kickoff, avoid and stack. You'll see here with the clip, but basically we're working our dip and rip, stack tight. We're avoiding kick side. Our coach is going to declare a direction left or right. We're going to dip and rip and stack tight. We don't want to drift. The other drill you're going to see here is our hard hat button press. So again, we're getting to that contact and finish zone. So now we're going to two gap. All right, button press, run our feet on contact, and get that returner to cut right or left. The other drill, this is my favorite one, is hard turn. So basically, you've avoided to the side, whether it's right or left. You can see the diagram is drawn. You're avoiding left. All right, now that returner makes a radical cut. Okay, you have to bend tight and now flatten down the line, beat him to where he's going to, not run behind him, and cut off his angle. So really enjoyed that drill. The last one's frame drill. Basically, you're working a vice tackle with the front two guys. All right, and then the back guy's going to run the alley like he's a returner. All right, like he's a safety guy, and this guy's a returner. So you're really they're working off two returners. Okay. All right, active feet. So you get a vice fit on the first returner, and then this back guy's going off the second returner. So he's here, makes a radical cut. And the nice thing is having two returners at two levels is you force this guy to use his vision and adjust his angle in an open field tackle, and you force these guys to work together in a vice tackle. It's also a really good drill just for a defensive tackling. So, highly recommend that. And, anybody that would want to talk more about these drills, feel free to contact me as well. Definitely would love to do that. So we put those in a circuit, and this would be what we show our guys in the meeting. And I think from an organizational standpoint, the thing you don't want to do is, hey, we got a 12-minute period in special teams. We don't want to waste, 3-4 minutes of having guys, to figure out what station they're at. So we'll post this on Huddle. We'll post it in the locker room. Our 1 and 10s know, hey, they're with Coach Jensen. They're starting at the hard turn drill. The 2 4s and 7s, they're at with Coach Barrick working avoid and stack. The button press two gap guys are with me. Okay. All right. The 5 and 6s, they're starting with me. The frame drill, they're with Coach Suchak. And we put the numbers there of the positions those guys are at. And again, we'll rotate there clockwise. And while that's going on, we have our kickers, kicking off to our returners and catching kicks. And then, if guys aren't involved in the special team circuit, okay, and they're not catching returns, all right, they're with their position coach working position drills. So we try to maximize that time so we don't have guys standing around. And again, Coach Morgan, will work with our returns. Coach Keys also works with our returners. Coach Shinkus will work with our kickers, as well as with Coach Sutrick. So again, we're fortunate with the staff that we have that everybody can be involved. And I think when everybody's involved, everybody's teaching, coaching something, there's a lot more buy-in. So we get to the first drill hill, kind of talked about already. All right, so you can see here, these 3 guys here actually were 3 starters for us. So this is Tyler Patron. Tyler was an all-conference corner for us. Christian Martyr was one of our best special teams players. And Steve Sweeney. Steve was a PSAC conference player of the week 1 against Pace. You can see here, Coach Barrick's giving him the side. Hey, we're shedding left. We give it to him pre-snap because we're a kick side shed team with the first level blockers. So we're working that avoid zone. All right, dip and rip and stack tight. Okay, nice thing is, you can use trash cans, you can use pop-ups, you can use, individual guys if you want to. And this is a rapid fire drill. You can see we've got 3 lines. We're getting as many reps as possible within the 2.5 minutes as we can. We'll work the left side. We'll work the right side. The nice thing you'll see with all 3 of these guys, and they were all starters on our kickoff team, is that you see when they avoid, they're really over-exaggerating the dip and rip, and then they're stacking back tight to that trash can. All right. A lot of times you get guys they avoid, but then they drift so much. All right. And then they leave open seams. So those guys are doing a really good job of just stacking tight. Again, a great drill, very simple. All right. A lot of people do it, but I think the coaching point is the biggest thing. If you want to get enough out of it is we want to dip and rip, avoid, and then stack tight to that trash can. Okay. Stack tight to that trash can as much as possible. All right. It's a great drill. You can see we get a lot of reps, and these are 3 of our best guys on kickoff right here. Working. You can see, this is the drill circuit here. So Coach Jensen, and we'll get film of it here in a little bit. He's working the hard drill turn up top. All right. Okay. Hard hat button press. All right. So again, you're working 10 yards or less from the returner. You want a 2-gap button press, get that returner to make a cut. All right. And biggest thing is, get the extension. All right. Making sure we're gapping everything out, which we'll see in our teach clip soon. So right here. All right. Good. We're getting engaged. Okay. The nice thing is we're only here in uppers. All right. So the biggest thing is, all right, we're not running the drill just to bang guys or run them into each other. We're running it to get the hand placement. So you can slow the tempo down to start and then gradually build it up. Okay. Get extension. You can see we rip here. Now our guy up top here. All right. That returner makes the cut. He wants to shed this way. He's wrong. He sheds the other way. I want to fit him here. All right. And again, get our fit on tackle. Now we're a rugby style tackle team. So we are tackling thigh boards. Tackling low. So again, we're just in shells here. So we're not taking guys to the ground, but we're trying to get in a good fit position and make sure that we can work our vice fit. But good job. You can see we're getting the extension. All right, ripping off, and we work to get our fit. Okay, here's another one. Okay, and these are all 3. These guys here are all 3 freshmen. Okay, so this is their first time going through the circuit. Okay. So right here, all right, do a good job. You can see this is Tyler Montes, a linebacker for us. All right, does a good job. He gets extension, okay, locks out, returner makes his cut, and now he works to get in a good fit, okay? Works and get his head across. Okay, we're fitting. All right, we're not taking him to the ground, but we still want to make sure that we're in good position, all right, with good low body bend. Good job. You can see here, all right, he's reading it, not declaring either side, waiting for that return to make a cut, and then go. Okay, Alex needs to give us a little bit more on the cut there, but you can see we're getting what we want here. Okay. Again, coaching them up. And again, young group here. All right. And again, Alex was on our kickoff team as a young guy. But you can see here, all right, we get good extension here. All right, good. He makes his cut, shed and rip. All right, now we just need to be a little bit in better position on the tackle on the fit. We're a little too high. All right. And pads, we'd like him, aiming point here for the thigh boards. Okay. So again, coachable type deal. And I put good and bad clips on here just so you guys can see the coaching points. The nice thing is by filming these drills, your guys are able to see that. You can see up top here, we got the frame drill going on. With guys working off those returners there. Here we go. Again, extension. All right, now he's got to rip across. And we get in a good fit. Okay. Now take the same drill, add a variation where, hey, you've button pressed and hey, maybe you've overcommitted a little too much. Now you've got to wipe your block across, all right, and speed rip once that return makes a cut and get in a good fit. So, again, a variation of the drill. All right. Again, this is day 1 of us, doing this for kickoff. So day 1, we'll get to the circuit and work these drills because again, it's the fundamentals that you have to be solid at. Okay, hard turn drill. All right, kind of talked about it already. Again, that returner makes a radical cut. You've already avoided one side. Now you've got to flatten it out. Okay, so you got the cover man here, right? He's avoided, all right? Now he gets upfield, and then that returner makes a cut. So he does a nice job. You can see here, flatten your angle out. Okay, flatten your angle. Don't go where he's going or he's going to overrun you. So flatten our angle out. We're in a good fit, okay? And again, we're just tapping off because we don't have lowers on. But in a game, we would come across here and that'd be a wrap and roll. The other thing you can do with this drill, you can use the tackle wheels. It's a good variation, especially later in the week. You want to keep off guys and not get them banged up. Great way that you can variate the drill there as well. Okay, a couple clips of this. Okay, Christian Martyr. Now, Christian's big thing is you can see when he goes to avoid, all right, see how he's rounding so much? So that's why we talk about in the avoid drill, make sure that you stack tight. So now that returner makes his cut, okay, he loses balance a little bit, able to recover, but then he's just a little high on his fit, but he does recover well. But again, flatten that out, go to where he's going, not where he's at. Here we go. So this is Sevi Bilbo. Sevi's a freshman for us. Okay, he gets a little too far up the field. All right, so again, right there, now he wants to flatten out. See, he goes to where the returner's at, not where he's going, and now leaves the seam. So again, this would be something, hey, we show him on film, we coach it up, okay? Because again, it will show up on tape. Okay, a couple more here, and then I'll give you, I have a teach example. Okay, AJ Velocity. All right, AJ does a good job. Okay, he bends. All right, now AJ does a nice job. He rips past, okay, and flattens out. And then the blocker, he can give him a little resistance. All right, but the biggest thing is just force that guy to have to adjust his angle, okay? The other thing you can do is you can use a pop-up, all right, or an agile just to make that guy have to make that hard cut, okay? And again, you can see him flatten it out there and you know, getting to the hip or just tapping the hip because we're not live in pads with lowers on, okay, but getting that tap there. And again, Coach Jensen coaching up, and again, getting your coaches involved, you know, during the special teams period, you know, really works out. I'm gonna skip ahead here. Here's a great game example. Okay, so we're looking at the number 3 guy in. So again, this was when I was a defensive GA at Shippensburg and ran the kickoff team. Okay, playing against Edinboro. This was you know, fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. All right, you can see number 3 as he's coming down there. Great job. Now there's no blocker there, but watch here. Sticks his foot in the ground. He bends, adjusts his angle, comes across and makes a great tackle. So again, the drill work that's used, you know, again, it shows up on tape. This is probably one of the best examples that I've had coaching. But again, just flattens out. That's the purpose of the drill right there. Why we do it. See it here from the tight angle. Okay, nice high deep kick. Looking at number 3 here, running down. Okay, right there, great, bends it. Okay, you can see here our other guys, they're working their 2-gap button press. Okay, working to split double teams. We're filling all the gaps. Get that thing to spill east-west as much as we can. Okay, now the drill, you can take all 4 of those circuit drills and put into one. Okay, again, this is when I was at SHIP, is a vital drill. Basically, you're putting a void zone. You're putting, you know, the button press 2-gap and the fit all in one. Okay, it's nice. You know, again, get a nice dip and rip, stack tight. All right, work the button press, get extension, then the returner rips off, and then get a fit. Okay? Get all the things you want. The nice thing about with the pop-up is you can see, you know, both guys do a pretty solid job of really stacking tight. And again, if we teach that and coach that, when that becomes a person or a blocker, we're going to be in really good shape. Get a couple clips of this, and then I'll have some game clips of full kickoff coverage and can talk through the fits. But again, dip right, so avoiding left and right. Good. 2-gap button press. Okay, now we're getting to the fit. Okay. All right, so this is us this year against Kutztown. All right. And the thing I want to point out here is just the young guys and how simple of a scheme it is that we've got young guys on the field that are able to contribute for us and make great plays. So, you know, Nick Johnson was a freshman for us. Kevin Janlin was a freshman for us. Nasir Best up top was a freshman for us. And Alex Pelgrim was a freshman for us this year. So, again, you know, young guys, you know, that they're able to contribute, played against a nationally ranked team, you know, and do a really nice job. So, again, right kick here. Nice high deep kick, really good ball placement of what we want, okay? And then you can see here, right, our safety is starting to fill it out. Here come our squeeze contain players. All right, hey, we're 2-gap button press. We're reading the fullbacks and the double team kickouts. Okay, and then again, you see our guy that comes in late here, our ball guy framing up the ball. Does a great job right there, okay? Great job right there. He's got the one-on-one that you want, okay? Makes a nice open field tackle. You get it here. Makes a nice open field tackle as we're coming down. You can see there, right, all this drill work we've talked about, right? Right, we got our 2-gap button press. Okay, 2-gap button press. You can see here we're starting to fold. We got our safeties, our squeeze contain guys. We're eliminating all the seams that we can as much as possible. Okay, do a nice job. Pin them inside the 20. All right, get a better look here. There's 2 tight angles, 2 tight shots. So get a better look of it from this end zone camera here. So again, exactly where we want the ball placed. Again, we want to defend 2/3 of the field, like a little bit deeper. But again, really good job here. So again, we're getting double team. We're going to teach split the double team, make them trade 2 for 1. Okay, again, you look at this. All right, we're starting to eliminate all those seams. All right, we're getting our guys in all those seams, all those gaps. Here come the fullbacks. Okay, again, trying to work a double team here. We're splitting it. All right, they're going to double team here. We're going to split it and cancel it. We've got a free hitter here, and we've got a free hitter here. You can see our ball guys frame that up. Boom, ends up being a great play for us inside the 20. I'll let it play through. Okay, good job. You can see that. All right, avoid zone. We're avoiding right. Okay, we're getting mostly everybody in the same gap. Split the double team. All right, you can see there our ball guys are framing it up. And it works out for us. Okay, same clip from the other end. I'm just going to let it run because kind of already talked about it. But again, good hang time. We're looking for around 4-0 in hang time from our kickers. All right, again, get that thing boxed in, defend 2/3 of the field. Don't give the returner a two-way go. All right, and then, squeeze and condense your coverage. Okay, here you go. This is against Mercyhurst. This is our last game of the season here. So, again, really nice kick here. Nice hang time. Okay, we get it in the end zone. They got to force to bring it out. All right, you can see right here. Great job. All right, great job. Our ball guy frames the returner. We split the double team. All right, and then you're going to see here we're doing a nice job. 2-gap button press. We're limiting all those seams with these guys, okay? All right, all those seams, those guys. We got our safeties here, our squeeze contain. All right, missed the tackle initially, but, again, force that guy to bounce east and west, and then we're getting everybody to the party. Balls inside the 15-yard line. Really good field position for our defense. And then we'll get it from the tight angle as well. But again, talk about here, right? So takeoff, right? Get a nice takeoff. All right, now we're in that speed and read zone. Here we go, avoid zone. Contact and finish. Button press 2-gap. And now we're working to rip the ball out. So really good job here. It is from the tight angle. We're just going to let it run. Again, you can see the placement. Everybody's on their landmarks, okay, covering the field. Again, our safety folds in, sees that seam, and again, eliminate those gaps. Eliminate the seams. The returners like water. Don't allow any leaks. Again, great way to start the game. First play of the game, first defensive play of the game. All right, we're pinning them deep inside the 15-yard line. All right, brings it out. Excellent job across the board there with us fitting that. And again, you can see here, everybody's converging to the football. Okay, everybody's converging to the football. Okay, this is against Bloomsburg. You can see our guys are getting hyped. And again, our guys get hyped about special. You see them jumping up and down. Okay, ball placement, we got on the right hash. And kicking-wise, we're gonna play to our kicker's strength, where he feels most comfortable putting that ball. All right, again, want to defend 2/3 of the field. But before this is kicked, again, young guys making great contributions. Freshman, sophomore, freshman. All right, got another freshman here and another freshman here. So, again, young guys contributing on our special teams. All right, getting great game experience and making huge plays and a big difference. So you can see here, great job by our ball guy. You can see he's beating guys with speed. All right, great button press 2-gap. All right, rips off, and we get that thing to flatten out. Okay, and you can see right there, just with his speed, all right, effort, we're eliminating those seams. You can see guys, we're running fast. We're outrunning, the return team. We 2-gap, we get it button pressed, and ball's right on 25, pretty much right where we want our goal to be. Looking at it from the tight angle here. So you can see here, we're huddling up. We'll break the huddle. One tidbit I would say for guys is that if you're the kickoff team, hold your huddle as long as you can. All right. And the reason is they're going to line up, and you can verify from your scouting, hey, are they lining up in the alignments that you saw, or are they lining up in something different? And then from there, you can make any adjustments necessary. Again, you can see here, all right, we're doing a great job. There's our 3 ball guys. Okay. You can see we've got our safeties there stacking it. All right, we've got our squeeze contain player. All right, a little jump it up here. Need to clean up a little bit. But again, we're getting the fit that we want. All right, we spill that ball out and put our defense in a good position to make them have to drive the field. This is our first game here against Pace. Okay, get really nice job of button press here. Isaiah Onishak, freshman, this is his first game. Again, all conference player for us. Flying down. But you can see all these 3 guys. See how they're flying down. Okay, does a great job button press. And then Isaiah here, you can see this is one way just to eliminate the block. Gets the guy off of him. We flatten it out. You can see there everybody's converging. We're eliminating seams and gaps. Okay, we've got our safety stacking it, making that picture right. And we're in really good shape. Here it is in the tight angle. Nice deep kick. Okay, again, really good job here. All right, by Isaiah shedding across. Now we want this guy here, and again, this is why you always want to shed kick side. Don't leave that seam and gap. Now, he makes that gap, so our safety realizes, hey, I've got to fit and insert and not leave that seam and gap. But ideally, we would have this guy ripping across there. All right, good job again by Isaiah putting this guy on the ground, folding in, and we end up making a nice play, making a nice tackle. Okay, against Westchester here. All right, right kick, good deep kick. They bring it out. Okay, you can see it developing right now. We're getting our safeties, okay? All right, our squeeze contain guys. Here comes our fill spill players. All right, but again, eliminate those seams and gaps. Right there's the seam. They're working a middle return. All right, work to close it. Folding in, two gap button press. Want to get our squeeze contain guy to just to fold a little bit more here. But again, inside the 25, great way to great momentum play and a way to kick it off, way to start it. Okay, you can see here the film's a little tight with this one. So you don't see the full kick return formation, but the thing you do see is good technique of guys just flying down there, shedding. High kick. Okay, we're all avoiding left side, so they work in middle return. So again, all right, our ball guy, he's already shed. He's working to the ball. All right, two gap button press. Okay, and get it here. So our ball guy's working here, okay? You can see here, they bring that ball back up for a middle return, okay, right there. All right, he forced that returner to cut east and west. Now, ideally, I'd love for him to make the tackle there, okay? He's got to be under control and make the tackle, but by forcing that ball to cut east-west, you can see we're filling all the gaps, okay? We've got our three ball guys here. All right, we're in good shape, okay? Good shape. We got him pinned down, set up for our defense to come out and play ball. Okay, another one here's a right kick. All right, and I put this one on here for a reason, okay, is that the one thing you need to make sure is identify on your kickoff team who's the guy that's going to hold the ball if it falls off the tee, okay? And so many times what happens is guys don't designate a guy, and then when it happens, everybody's standing around, and then somebody has to eventually go up and hold it. And what I would say is practice this not just on a windy day in practice, but practice on a normal day. Identify who's your guy. Hey, if that ball falls off the tee twice, who's the guy that's going to hold it? And make sure that however you're fitting your coverage, you're in good shape. You skip ahead here, see if we get the ball placed. Fortunately for us, it doesn't fall off the tee this time, but I think that's a crucial point, and just a small tidbit that can really be beneficial for guys. Yeah, nice high kick for us. Okay, we'd like it a little bit deeper, right? But we get it to bounce. Okay, returner mishandles it. You can see here, almost come up with it, but we got our guys flying down the ball with great effort. Ball's there in the 20. They got to drive 80 yards, to be able to score a touchdown. So, again, I think it's important, one, again, avoid kick side, but also your kick placement, okay? Put that ball as tight to the sideline as possible, defend 2/3 of the field, and then you can squeeze, that return in with your coverage. And guys do a great job of hustling down there. And get it from the tight angle as well. I believe we have two tights for this. Okay, but just good effort of guys getting to the ball here just from the tight angle. Okay, nice high kick. Okay, right here. Ideally, we'd like to get Kev to shed across. Again, shed and kick side, so we eliminate the seam. Okay, get him in that seam there. All right, our safety at least sees it, and we're working to converge it with our two safeties. But again, just a great job of guys just flying down there with really good effort. In a tight ball game, against a playoff type team and making plays, putting our defense in really good position. Here's the same clip from a different tight angle. Again, driving it, obviously like a little deeper, but again, converging there. All right. And then again, mishandles it. So now, doesn't have any choice but to recover it. But again, you can see our fit mapping out kind of there. Okay, here we go. This is another one. Get it going here. It's loading. Okay, so got a left kick. Start this back up because the clip didn't work here. So here we go. Got a left kick. A right kick. Ball's kicked deep. All right, you can see here. All right, here come our three guys. Our ball guys are coming to converge to the ball. All right, great job. exactly what we're looking for. 2-gap button press. Here come the 3 ball guys right here. Okay, fill, spill. We got our squeeze contains. Here's our 1 safety. The other safety's out of the picture right now. And again, get that thing bottled up. Get that thing bottled up. All right, and here it is from the tight angle. So you can see here, break the huddle. Again, hold the huddle as long as you can to see what their kick return formation is. Check, make sure everybody's on side, ready to go. Good high kick again, right? Try to put in that side as much as possible, all right? Like a little deeper, okay? Now they're working to wind it back across, okay? We originally, said we were going to shed kick side, okay? We can still do that now. The thing we got to be aware of is if they bring the return back across from us, all right, our 2 safeties, all right, if they have enough time, all right, and they can yell, switch, switch, switch. That alerts these guys, hey, if we can, let's shed the opposite side other way, all right? Because again, they're trying to bring that ball back to the formation. Now they're just bringing it back here to the hash. They would bring it all the way back across. We want to make that switch call. But again, fit it out well, pin them deep and getting guys down. Okay, here you go. This is against Lockhaven here. So deep kick, work to bring it out. All right. And right now you can see here, okay? So we talked about that switch call. So now they're looking to bring this return all the way back across the formation. They're looking to wind it all the way back, okay? Right now our safeties want to yell switch, 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 okay? So now our guys know, hey, we originally wanted to avoid, kick side. Now they're bringing the return opposite. If we're not in void zone, let's rip across opposite. So again, got a good job, 2-gap button press. We're getting the returner to go east and west and cut laterally, okay? All right, we're fitting over here to the top, flatten it out. Again, eliminate those seams. All right, we get them down. Okay, obviously would like to pin them a little bit deeper, but again, a good adjustment on the fly. All right, and the nice thing is the returner here is actually coming to play for us this year. So Christian Drayton. So again, he's probably one of the better returners in our conference. Here it is from the tight. Okay, so you can see he catches it. All right, right there. Again, we talk about that hard turn drill. He's got to change direction, flatten that out. Go where he's going, not where he's at. Okay. Again, we flatten it out enough that we can pull it up here. And again, we can fit this thing up. We can vice fit this thing up. Isaiah comes back, makes a nice tackle. Okay, we're going to look here at the bottom. This is Kevin Jalen, one of our freshmen, okay? So he's our ball guy. He's hot to the ball. Again, we can align our ball guys really anywhere we want. All right, but gives us great effort, flies down there, okay? Is reckless to the ball. You can see him, beats the blockers, and boom, right inside the 25. Excellent job by Kevin. We'll see it here from the tight angle. Again, looking at the guy up top here. So you can see we just scored a touchdown. So, again, we've got momentum. All right, nice kick, what we want, a little bit deeper, but works to bring it back. Kev sheds. All right, right there, open field, comes across. Big momentum play for us. I'll let it play again. And, again, you can just see guys are flying down there. We're avoiding kick side. 2-gap button press. There we go. Got a good one there. And end up making a nice play for us. There's another one. Okay, good high kick. All right, again, trying to wind it back. And you can see here we do a nice job. We flatten it out. We've got our switch call going. All right, bend. Okay, and again, we hard turn enough here with number 1, Zach Button. Okay, right here, the drill we talked about, hard turn. There it is. All right, right here, hard turn, flatten it out. Okay, we flatten it out enough. Here comes our guy here, our squeeze contain player to contain it. And we got him inside the 20, okay, or inside the 25, right around the 20-21. So, great job of, again, just the stuff we drill, on a daily basis, showing up on tape. The techniques, the fit, everything we talk about, showing up on a daily basis here. You can see our guys just give us really good effort, flying down in coverage. Again, we do a nice job identifying the fullbacks and ends. Realize that they're trying to wind it back here to the middle, flatten it out. And again, it ends up being a great play for us. Here it is from the tight angle. Nice high kick. Again, 2-gap button press. Avoid kick side. Flatten it out. Flatten it out. And there we go. Get what we want. Skip ahead here for a couple of them. Okay, here we go. This is against Bloomsburg in 2018. Okay. So you see we get a really nice kick from our kicker. It's deep. Okay, again, put the ball placements based on the kicker's ability, where he feels most comfortable. All right. So we get a nice kick. Okay, you can see us taking the line, full speed. All right, right there. All right, catches at the 5, bringing it up. Okay, right here, we're getting here. Again, we talked about eliminating seams, eliminating gaps. So here we go. Okay, we've gotten into the avoid zone. Now we're in that contact and finish zone. So 2-gap button press. All right, you can see here with our fits. All right, we've got everybody where we want. Okay, squeeze contain. Okay, we've got our other squeeze contain up top. Here's one of our safeties. Other safeties out of the picture. We're ripping across. We got our ball guys framing it up. All right here. All right, do a great job shooting, wrapping up, and the guys inside the 25. And then I'll play it without the annotation so you can see it fully. Like you said, nice high kick. Okay, really good hang time of what we're looking for. You can see there, 2-gap button press. Boom, ends up with a really nice tackle. Here it is from the tight angle. Okay, so here we go. Really good ball placement. Again, make them take away 2/3 of the field. Nice fit. Works out really well for us. Okay, here you go. This is against Kutztown in 2018. Okay, again, ball's going to get nice hang time. Good placement right there at the goal line. Okay, they look to bring it out. Okay, so again, forcing them to return 2/3 of the field. You can see here, right? We're fitting it up. We got our 2-gap button press. We're working to split this double team. All right. We're here on our landmark squeeze contain guy. Okay. All right. We got our safety here's coming to fill this alley here. Again, right there inside the 20. Exactly what we want. I'll let it play through here and then get it from the tight angle as well. Again, nice high kick. And the hang time is crucial, man. If you got a guy, even if he doesn't have the distance quite the end zone that you want, if he gives you the hang time, you're going to put yourself in really good position. Here it is from the tight. Nice high kick. Okay, brings it out. Okay, you can see there, right? Hey, we're all avoiding kick side. We're here. Now we're getting to that 2-gap and button press. Right there, we got a one-on-one tackle. Now, ideally, we'd like to, again, that's why we teach the rugby style. Shoot the thigh boards, get your head across, so we do miss it. But again, we flatten that guy out enough that we're able to put him off balance and, again, pin that guy inside the 20-yard line. Okay, this is when I was at GH Shippensburg. I'll get it to you from the tight angle because you can see everything a little bit better. Okay, again, based on where your kicker's at, his ability, you can put the ball really, wherever he feels most comfortable, hash, middle, left, right. I think it's got to be based on what your kicker feels most comfortable with. And I think that's a conversation as a special teams coach you need to have. Okay, so get a really nice kick here. Okay, forms it deep. Okay, great job here. You see here, we're doing a good job. We split the double team. Here's our squeeze contain player. So, again, there's that open seam and gap. We want to close it, hold that edge if that ball declares there. Okay, we end up bottling it up. Great job with our ball guys of flying down there. Full speed, split the double team. Boom, make the tackle right there on the 20. Okay, I got a couple more, and then I'll put up my contact information for you guys. And again, I think, guys, with all the phases and especially kickoff, the biggest thing is the effort. If you have guys that give great effort and are going to fly down there and really take pride in their units, you're going to be really well off. You can see here, all right, we're working here to avoid the first level of blockers. We're getting across. And again, just getting our three ball guys to the ball, frame up the nose, 2 outside shoulders. Okay. This one here, all right, this is the one of why your squeeze contain guy, all right, your outside guy, or whoever ends up being the guy away from the kick side, all right, has to make sure that his landmark, he never goes past the upright. Okay, so you'll see it here. All right, this ball is going to kick all the way out and wind across. And now we got a nice tackle right there in open field. Again, he does a really, really good job of making sure that, again, he keeps all 21 players inside him, that bracket 21 player. Again, look at the guy up top and making sure that thing doesn't kick out. Good hang time. We're giving our guys enough time to cover down there. Okay, good job splitting the double team. All right, force that guy to cut east-west. So, hey, flattens out. All right, we missed the tackle initially, but it flattens out. And, again, does a great job. All right, uses silence as a 12th defender. Great leverage here, inside out. Okay. Gets him inside the 25. So we still maintain our goals. So, again, every guy doing your job, the open field tackle, all the things that you work, again, showing up on tape. And here it is from the tight angle. So, again, you get a nice high kick. All right, you can see there. All right, we're 2-gap button pressure. We're getting it bounced east and west, but great job right here. Okay, we missed a tackle. All right, but again, now he's got one-on-one. All right, and then it's the sideline. So great job here. Use your leverage. Know that your help's inside. The cavalry's coming. Your help's inside out leverage. Okay. Wrap up. We get him down on the ground inside the 25. Okay. This is against Cal PA. Again, really nice kick. They work to bring it out. Okay. Again, split the double team. Right there, get our 2 ball guys. And again, your ball guys get your fastest guys, your reckless guys, your guy that's going to go down there, with 100 miles an hour. And sometimes it's not always your fastest guy. It's your guy that gives you great effort and makes a great play. You can see here we're identifying their fullbacks and ends because they knew they were going to try to bring it back to the hash. Boom, split the double team, get them inside the 20. Here it is from the tight. Filter it out. Okay, you can see here, want to get this guy here, shedding here correctly, but everybody else is giving us what we want. And again, we're creating layers to our kickoff coverage, layers to our defense. We're keeping the ball inside and in front of us. We're forcing the ball to bounce east and west and putting that offense in a tough situation, field position-wise, where now they got to drive 80, 90 yards to make a score. Okay. This is older film, so this is when I was at Allegheny. Now, I know the alignment has changed with the ball and where guys are at. But the thing just really look at here is, again, another good hard turn example. Okay, so the guy right here flattens his angle out. Everything we talk about, that return makes a cut. He beats him to his point where he wants to go. Okay, and at least, even though he misses the tackle and doesn't make it, he forced that guy to have to make a cut. And then we've got our guys flying down there in pursuit. Okay, last one here is just really talking about effort. So, again, we talk about that speed and read zone. That's the speed we want. One of those guys running full speed, okay? And the film's not dubbed or anything. Those guys did a great job, effort. And most of those guys were maybe, 4'7", 4'8", 4'9" guys. But the thing is that game speed of flying down there, making plays, did a really nice job. They're flying down there as fast as they can to make sure that, they're bottling up, and we got the ball inside the 20. So, again, I think, coaching those phases, coaching all the things that you need to coach is really important. And, again, there's a lot of great phases of special teams, and I appreciate the opportunity to share with you guys today. My contact information is here. Feel free to reach out. My cell, my email, my Twitter is at dbearddan as well. And feel free, if you guys have any questions, anything at all, please feel free to reach out. And again, I appreciate this format to share some insight.